With this energy of the star, it feels like a long time wish in love and romance is finally coming true. It feels like this is somebody that you have been trying to connect with for a while. There have been false starts. There might have been third parties in the mix for a while on their side of the equation, on your side of the equation, different sorts of factors and variables externally and internally that have created a very long journey between the two of you. Times when hope was in short supply or you'd given up on this connection altogether. This person as well has gone through both all of the light and shadow aspects that you have: desire, yearning, frustration, optimism. And it feels like this potential love connection where the stars are finally aligning in order for things to happen the right way, how they were always supposed to. At this time in both of your lives is when the doors to love were always meant to open, because this has been a connection that is meant to be something out of the ordinary. You had to go through certain losses in order to cultivate personal strength. Your character had to be honed and developed through your experiences with one another and also other experiences that you've had. Certain soul contracts of a karmic nature which needed to be lived through to a place of completion where you could understand things a little more fully and choose to proceed forward or to close out on those experiences with other people. Whatever you have been through from the very moment that you first laid eyes on this person, they laid eyes on you, to where you are in this particular moment in time, everything has served a purpose. Even things that seemed very random, very unfair, that were definitely experiences of, improvisations outside of the script or the blueprint of your kind of like chosen reality, this person's chosen reality, wild cards that came up, things that threw you both for a loop, circumstances that brought you down to your knees or lifted you up so high that it seemed like fortune was taking you in opposite directions from one another. All of this has contributed to the magic of this very moment here and now, where there is an opportunity for the two of you to get things right, to love each other in a way that just wasn't possible before. That if things had worked out or had happened any sooner, yeah, you might have had happiness. You might have both been spared certain lessons, particular kinds of heartbreak. There could have been experiences maybe that you thought that you would have with one another, things that you wanted in this lifetime that maybe didn't come to fruition or didn't come to fruition in the way that you thought they would, and that could have turned out very differently. Nevertheless, this is the energy of somebody that you are going to get that happily ever after with. You have been their long held wish. They have been your long held wish, and you have both gone through the various labyrinths and gauntlets within your own lives to reach this point in your unique stories. The moment is right, the stars have aligned. Divine timing signals that the time is now for the two of you to experience something more with one another. With this energy of Five of Pentacles, it feels like this is somebody that is coming towards you very changed, very different from the version of them that you remember. And in many ways, you are very different than who they remember. There may be a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of skepticism, a little bit of guardedness, uncertainty on your part, on their part, and this Five of Pentacles assures you that that is very natural, that even if things look really good from the surface, you are probably going to encounter those kind of blind spots where you wonder for a moment, like, is this just going to be a repeat of the previous cycle, or can I trust what I am experiencing? All of that is designed in order to give the two of you the opportunity to move at a pace that takes full advantage of the moment, but also allows the two of you to really recognize how in the past you might not have been fully aligned with one another, kind of speaking the same energetic language, moving towards one another with the same level of determination and in the past, present ability to kind of act on those urges and inclinations in a way that would have led to long-term success. But here and now in this moment, you get the ability to kind of peel back the layers little by little of what stands between the two of you, which it feels like now is no longer third parties. It's no longer the same kinds of physical obstacles and challenges that at one point in time existed. You've both become braver people. You've both done the work to kind of clear the clutter out of your lives externally and internally. So that kind of sense of having to, work to build trust or work to, kind of discover one another again, sort of learn who you have each become. All of that feels to be kind of a process of softly taking away these kind of internal degrees of hesitation, acknowledging them as they exist and kind of come to the surface within the two of you. And this is a process of delicately and meticulously choosing again and again and again to capitalize on this moment where the stars have aligned, the time is right. And it feels like with this Five of Pentacles, you will come to see that you truly missed out on nothing in terms of a love that is coming to full fruition, maybe a little later than you anticipated, a little later in life. It may have been a very unorthodox or winding path that you've taken to this moment in time. But the more that you sort of lean into this, and this person leans into this, and the more that you honor that natural kind of hesitation to trust fully and all at once, the more you will be able to soften into and come to realize beyond the shadow of a doubt that it always had to be this time in both of your lives. Things had to occur. Things had to be shaped on both of your ends so that when that promise, that vow, that level of commitment is made to one another, it is made with the fullness of what you have each discovered within yourselves on a deeply rooted soul level that can then ripple out into all those other layers of a very conscientious being that you have each become. That is very different from how you may have been very sort of idealistic in the past, or again needed to go through certain experiences, tend to certain things, certain kind of prerogatives or agendas that each of your souls had set out to experience in this incarnation, that were, non-negotiable. You had certain tasks that you had to tend to, matters that had to be handled, again, soul contracts with other people that needed to be evaluated in the privacy of kind of your own unique individual experience. Like if you'd coupled up successfully, if the love connection had happened sooner, you couldn't see things as they are. You would have been in some sort of way looking through the lens of this kind of joint experience with one another. You would have been looking through the lens of the eyes of love that you will each be equipped with or will be refined within you when this connection blossoms and germinates. And that is very beautiful in terms of creating productive experiences moving forward. But you needed to go through a process of disillusion that had to take place in the sovereignty of yourself, with only kind of your own instinct, your own input, your own sovereignty, your own free will at play to determine what you were going to choose to participate with and what you were going to choose to close out of your life. You and this person have been making space for this reconnection, and what feels like might even be sort of like a reconciliation or something where there have been a couple false starts between you and finally things are right, but it's almost like you're saying yes, or you're able to kind of enter into that promise with one another for real and for the first time ever, because who you each are today is so different from the people that you used to be. And those versions of you are, worthy of praise and celebration. But who you have become, who each of you have become right now, is absolutely radiant, is absolutely beautiful. You are that kind of forecasted, beautiful experience in love that each of you inside has known all along that you wanted, or that was destined for you in some sort of way. And it was through a process of elimination through the experience of learning what love is not, in a platonic sense, in a familial sense, in a romantic sense, that you've been able to kind of tune yourselves to the vibration of recognizing what love actually is, and to be able to co-create that experience for yourselves and now with one another. We also have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is somebody that is coming back towards you. You may kind of sense their presence or the arrival of someone, like new love. And it may be something that takes you quite by surprise, because this energy with this Knight of Pentacles, he's got that helmet down. You can't see this person's face. And so when this person arrives, it may be very surprising to you that the energy you have sensed approaching, it is this person from the past. It is this person that you thought you'd abandon all hope. They were never going to change. You chalk this up to a loss. You've kept them in like a special place in your heart, but you've grieved the possibility or detached from the possibility or released the possibility of anything more in this lifetime happening. This person's going to surprise you in the best possible way with who they have become. And this isn't somebody who just the whole time was like, I'm going to change. I'm going to become that better version of me so that I can secure a position in your life further down the road. It's like certain instances, this person was given no choice but to change, evolve, or, just kind of stagnate, wither, and disappear. There might have been circumstances that put this person in like tough positions, tough choices that they had to make. Whatever had led to disconnections between the two of you on an occasion or more than one occasion, whatever sort of demons they needed to fight within themselves, or again, kind of like karmic soul contracts that could have to do with people, places, things, even a relationship with themselves that they needed to solve. They needed to, get down into the fine print and to decide, do I want to co-sign on this anymore, or do I want to rip that to shreds? Start anew in a different direction. All of that is something that it feels like has brought out truly the best within this person. Something that you saw a glimpse of. You saw a glimmer of when you first connected with them. They saw that within you as well, but it was only raw potential. And there was a necessity of each of you walking your separate paths, going down your separate roads, connecting back with one another. It is obviously the same person you were dealing with before, but their energy is different. Their lifestyle is different. Their outlook is different. Their relationship with themselves is different. It feels like this is going to be somebody that when they arrive to you, because this is somebody with this Knight of Pentacles, they are putting one foot in front of the other. They are determined to come toward you. This is not kind of like happenstance or, fate or chance that just sort of like randomly puts you both in one another's path. This is somebody that is very conscientiously walking towards you at this point in time. They're very near to you. They're very close to making their presence known, very close to reaching out. And you will be pleasantly surprised. For a lot of you, it will be tears of joy the moment that you see this person, the moment that you speak to this person, the moment that you experience that you've not been walking this journey alone. Yes, your bodies have been separate, but you've been walking in tandem with one another all along. The ups and downs that you've gone through, the growing pains, the harsh lessons this person has gone through just as much in different ways. You have been evolving alongside one another. And though it may, appear to be the same person, they might have, aged or aged like a fine wine aged well. They could look, younger than ever, aging backwards because they've sort of like made better choices for themselves. They've cleared away a lot of those draining circumstances. However, there is a sense of you being able to recognize all that raw potential within, that initial spark between the two of you. This has become something which has embodied within them this kind of fullness of this luminosity that was always there. This person is living as the best version of themselves in this moment, and they see that within you as well. This is somebody who has followed their instincts, has kept tabs on you, has surrendered to the process and is not wasting time to see, well, maybe divine timing will, sort of give me another opportunity. Maybe it's not quite right yet. Maybe I need to fix some things or improve some things or, shape some things within my life. No, this is somebody that is like, this is the time. This is the right experience. This is kind of that fast forwarded moment to that ideal time that they sensed within. They felt it within their heart and soul when they first connected with you. Was the appointed hour upon which the doors of love would effortlessly open between the two of you. Ironically, it's taken a hell of a lot of work on their part, on a personal level, on your part, on a personal level, and what's going to be required to approach, to try and earn your trust back, to subject themselves to the experience of being, triggered by the familiar and new version of you all at once. This is somebody who's willing to put in that work, because they've come to that realization that this love is worth fighting for. This love is worth kind of making that effort for. This is somebody who has completely transformed themselves in the best possible way from the inside out. So many things are different. This is somebody who at one point in time was terrified of the potential of love that they sensed between the two of you. Deep unworthiness wounds that surfaced, feels like very immediately within this person. They were very frustrated by the obstacles between the two of you. They've given up on this connection as you have in the past, and they have also been scooped back up into that energy of hope, and now are in this position within themselves of very conscientiously, very deliberately, very mindfully, and very obviously making their way back towards you. For some of you, you can already sense or anticipate this person making that approach. There may have been little hints, little indicators, signs and synchronicities, or even ways in which they've started to kind of, lightly tap on the door to your heart to let you know, hey, I'm here. I'm here, and I don't expect that you're just going to let me in with open arms. I anticipate I'll have to put in work in order to claim my rightful place beside you. For others, this is something where you feel the approach of that love, that beautiful love connection that you've wanted for so long, or you've been trying to manifest that, and you're going to be so surprised by who it is that develops with. The person you had lost all hope about, the one where you were kind of like, this is never going to happen. And so bon voyage for this lifetime, or for some of you, you're like forever. And this reading isn't going to apply to everyone. For some of you, you try too hard to kind of make every single message fit, and that's not the point of the readings on my channel. This isn't like everything is for everyone, yay, every single day, every single time. This is a reading for a segment of the collective that has been honestly putting in the work within themselves, that has that capability within to take somebody at face value, to recognize kind of that like attracts like energy. Like if you've been putting in the work within yourself, you're going to be able to recognize another human being who has put in the work within themselves. And that effort, that personal effort, does so much to kind of dissolve those barriers, that hardness of the heart that we sometimes develop for our own protection, or because it's the only choice. We have to choose ourselves. So this reading is for those of you within this collective, where again, you've really been putting in that work. And when this person arrives to your doorstep, because a lot of you may get someone who arrives, but you're going to be able to tell right away. The energy will let you know, yeah, they haven't really, matched my frequency. Not they've put in effort and they've arrived, but I don't want what I once wanted now that it's arrived. It's the kind of thing that you're going to know very instantaneously. Any sort of hardness of heart will melt immediately in the presence of this person. Yes, they want to put in that work, to kind of kiss and make up, to earn your trust, to introduce you to this version of themselves that it feels like will take a very different approach to you in this situation than they had in the past. But this is for that kind of like rare, unique, very special segment of this collective where, your happily ever after, it isn't something which is with this kind of like new person, literally, that you're going to find somewhere else, further up on your timeline, because a lot of you've been putting that work, you're calling in that love, you will have that experience. This is for that kind of like smaller portion of you where It was always supposed to be you and this person. You got a glimpse of one another. You had sort of like a jagged foundation with one another in the past. Certain shaping experiences you needed to go through in order to reach this point in your storyline. Because this is the time where you will come to understand we missed out on nothing with one another. Because we are able to merge with each other, to fall in love, to rise in love, to combine our hopes and our fears and our intentions and our capabilities and all of that beautiful essence of love that we've refined and discovered within ourselves. We're able to give and to receive that to one another equitably, deeply, fearlessly, hopefully, in a way that wasn't possible in the past. So this is the energy of reunion, of reconciliation, but for a lot of you, this is kind of like false start, or, like two ships in the night on many occasions. And this is the commencement of finally the two of you get to explore love. Finally, you get to be with one another. Finally, all of that kind of like raw potential, which has been actualized within the two of you, gets to be shared and gets to be exchanged out in the light of day, in a way that is not just a temporary experience, just to kind of answer that question of what if, but in a way that you come together with one another and you don't let go of one another's hand. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.